What's up, y'all? Welcome to this week's episode of Music in the Minor League. This week we're joined by Griffin Wade and Rachel Lynch. Right now they're based out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Griffin used to play with Rock Bottom String Band for a while before leaving a couple years ago, once him and Rachel got married, and they play 180 shows a year at this point around Oklahoma and really all over the country. They're someone we really wanted to talk to because they are people who actually do music as a job. You know, it's like they are working musicians in the truest sense of the word. They get out there and they do it almost every day, and that's how they pay their bills and do everything. We hadn't really had a person. We've had people who tour a lot and stuff and make money that way, but we haven't had people who do it kind of like more locally and make their money playing bars, breweries, restaurants, things of that nature, while still going out and touring and still creating original music. So that's really an interesting thing for us and something we want to talk about. So before we get to the podcast, let's get into the housekeeping part. As always, number one, if you like the podcast, share it with a friend. Take this one. If you are listening for Rachel and Griff, go ahead and send it out, man. Let people know. Help spread the word, because we're here to try to spread the word on independent musicians and, share what it's like actually doing this. Number two, if you want to be on the podcast, hit us up. We've got a few people in the cache right now, but we can always add more, and we're, looking forward to talking to people, man. We still got quite a bit of this season left to go. Three, if you want to catch Rachel and Griffin, look them up on social medias. They have so many dates, it's hard to nail anything down. I know this summer they're going to play Choice City Stomp out in LaPorte, and there'll be dates there and back. If you're around Kirby's around Wichita, Big Booty Trees in Salina, and anywhere around Oklahoma City or Norman or anywhere around there, you're going to find them. So just keep an eye out, man, and go check out one of their shows. Find them on social media at Griffin Wade and Rachel Lynch, or for the full band, Rachel Lynch and the Day Drinkers. Finally, what do we have coming up with Brightwire? Not much, man. We're just hanging out, doing full band practices, working on some demos, getting some things going. We're really just laying low. April 5th, we'll be doing a duo show down at Mod Coffee House. That's going to be cool. But other than that, we don't have much on the ledger until late in April. So you don't have to worry about listening to our garbage this time. So let's just cut it. Let's head over and let's kick it off with a song from Rachel Lynch. This song's called Wrecked off of her The Hang of It album. Give it a listen and we'll see you on the other side, man. Have fun. Later.
We loved each other more than words could say. We knew each other better than night and day. We lost each other quicker than we knew how. We wanted each other then and now. Why didn't we figure this out sooner? Why did we wait until it was too late? How did we fuck this up so badly? We really needed to communicate. Wanted a lady, that wasn't me. You demanded respect constantly. You desired someone to listen to you all the time. You needed a woman that wouldn't speak her mind. Why didn't we figure this out sooner? Why did we wait until it was too late? How did we fuck this up so badly? We really needed to communicate, yeah. smile, but I don't mean it now. This hurts. We both need time to heal. This hurts, yeah, this hurts. Why didn't we figure this out sooner? Why did we wait until it was too late? How did we fuck this up so badly? We really needed to communicate, yeah.
All right, y'all, welcome to another episode of Music the Minor League. Today we are here with Rachel Lynch and Griffin Wade.
Hello.
Like on location.
On location in Oklahoma City.
OKC.
So, yeah. Keep it real, K-Money, huh? No, but friends of ours, we've known Griffin for quite a long time when he was the bass player for Rock Bottom String Band.
What up?
Dog lover, all around good guy. And then luckily,
My card says.
luckily he brought Rachel into our lives, who's a great singer-songwriter, performer. They both make, we really want to talk to them because they both spend their entire, this is how they make their living. This is what they do. And we're sitting in the living room of their house with their dogs and all their stuff, and they play music everywhere. Breweries, restaurants, casinos, and then they also tour with their original music. So they do it literally all.
So literally when people say, what's your podcast about? We say it's about people who are, duking it out in the minor leagues of music. We're talking about Griffin and Rachel.
What up?
Yeah, they're in it. They're not half-assing it like
Right.
us, where it's well, I'm going to work. This tour went to shit, but I'll be able to go back to work and make some of that money back.
They're living the dream. We saw the van.
I know, it's true. They do have a rad van outside.
Yeah. And ever since our friends in When Particles Collide got a van, I've been like, I want to do that.
That looks so fun.
It does. I really love to travel.
One of my favorite parts of it. I can't say it's my favorite. It's hard to choose a favorite part of music, but that's one of my favorite parts is I love traveling, and it helps us do
I love
that.
it when
Yeah.
Griff drives and then I can nap in the back.
I love driving.
That works for us too. It's always Kim can, crochet or do what she's doing. And I'm like yesterday, she drove from here to Wichita, and she kept being like, "Are you okay?" Because I'm just fidgeting and stuff. Because I'm
Yeah.
I've looked at my phone enough. I don't want to look at it, but I don't know what else to do.
What am I doing over here? Yeah, I can't nap in the car like that. And I'll only she knows when it's I'm either exhausted or just not feeling well. She'll be like, "Here, do you want me to drive?" And I'm like, "Yes."
I look over at him today, as I'm crocheting in the front seat. Very accurate. And he's just eyes half open. He looks exhausted. I'm I just keep touching him. Are you okay? So I don't know whether to let him drive or not. Really, at this point.
I
No,
love
it's that
driving.
head down, kind of looking up, or it looks like your eyes are shut. But they're not. It's
Oh, okay.
I'm just listening to the book. We always have audio books on.
that,
It makes the time go way faster.
It really does.
And so,
I'm all
Books,
about cruise
podcasts.
control and having my stories on.
that's basically it.
Oh, you're a
Meanwhile-
podcast guy?
Yeah, podcasts or honestly even a comfort show in the background that I don't need to see. I'll put on Brooklyn Nine-Nine or something and be
okay.
I've seen all that. I know what's going on in my head visually.
Right,
so
I need the vocal cues
yeah,
to
just the
see it.
vocals.
There you go.
But I'm a podcast person too.
Yeah.
I am not. Things go in my ears and I lose it halfway through. I get so distracted in my own brain. I'll drive in silence for hours and just think
Wow.
about stuff, which sounds kind of
That
serial
must only
I can
be
do both.
when I've never seen that. But that's it. That sounds like a solo driving thing.
Yeah.
I would assume.
It usually is.
Because there's so many qualities about my beautiful wife, but silence is not one that immediately jumps to my mind.
Yeah, it is usually, you're right. It is usually by myself when I do that. But even then, I'll sing to myself or make some new lyrics.
No,
It
that's
was-
why I have to turn something on most of the time, or I will end up being it's been 20 minutes of me going, and or just some weird stuff, and I'm
Yep.
oh, thank God I'm not recording myself right now because I look like a Looney Tune.
It's only time for me when I'm like, especially when I'm working on a new song, if I'm alone, it's my time to like learn how to sing it, where it's not like, get past the like cat getting, was it rocking chair on a cattail kind of thing. And then it's like, okay, now I'm starting to sound like I know how to sing again. And then I come home and be like, Kim, listen to this new song I came up with.
It's so funny that we have been married for 8 years today.
Hey, happy anniversary!
Oh, you had to make that.
But as like still, we are still both afraid to show each other like new songs, and like it's very like
interesting.
baby. What if he judges me?
They're the most personal thing. Like especially when you write. Like I guess maybe it's not the same for every writer. We know a lot of the same writers and stuff that are all right from the heart in like a way that is like, and we might not live our lives out loud the same ways that we say this thing. Like you know how social media gets the highlights of things, like usually all positive or whatever, and then it's like these songs that can be a mix of things where it's like, oh, here's all this fun thing, and then it's like also, hey, this is like the most fucked up part about me right now, but I'm, instead of paying for therapy, I'm writing a song.
Oh yeah,
hope you like it. Even to your loved one,
Go ahead.
No, I was like, it is that way. It's funny how many times, like, are we okay? Like, so I always joke about our last record we made. Like, both the first two songs are like, I want to be better. I'll be better off alone, and I'm walking out the door. I'm better by myself, and all of this. Then next one's like getting out of town and going away. And the other one's like, I'm gonna leave you two. And we had multiple friends that did not even know each other be like separate. Like, dude, y'all good?
You guys okay?
You okay?
Well, sometimes like I know I draw a lot of things from past times. Because like when you're dealing with this, that, and the other, or trauma and stuff, like it can take a lifetime to unpack if you can ever actually unpack it fully. Like, and you know how people like us do it with songs, and
that's it.
We've done that where I wrote a song last year where there's definitely some lines in there, and she went, hey, we good, right? Like, and I was like, yeah, this has not, because we try and do the check-in, we're both loud people, and so
I don't like passive aggressive.
We try and keep things known between us, but it's like there's a line in a song that made it go, wait, is this what's going on? Are we fighting?
Should I be mad?
But it's like, no. This is just feelings from fucking wherever, honestly. Like, not from right. Things are cool right now, like, personally. So.
I wrote that song that was, it was based off something, I'd read or a show I watched, and it was like, I love you, but, and like, you should never say that, right? Yeah. I love you, but you're a lot, or something like that. He's never once said those words to me. It's always, I love you, and. But I wrote this song about it, and it's so weird when you play with your partner, and people are like, did you write that about him? I'm like, no.
I remember because you were playing or hosting the open mic at the bar down the road, and a few of our mutual friends were there hanging out, and they were also musicians and had played, or maybe you were just playing with a show.
Just playing,
it was just a show, wasn't there? Whatever, not important. And you played that same song, and it's our three dude friends right there. All of them at the same time when they heard a certain line, like went and looked at me and went, oh, are you, like, you're in trouble? Because she was like, here's a new song, and I'm not playing that night too. She was playing with a good friend of, I think, Abigail or something. And so it was just,
they all looked at him. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh no, and luckily I know, and like, I think she's already been like, hey, this isn't, don't worry. Like, because I didn't get defensive because I'm like, that's not what I do. So shit. That's not, I know it's not about me.
So
bunch of rando dudes start like DMing Rachel, like, hey, everything okay?
Right. I heard this song got put out and we think it's I know, I don't,
if you need someone to talk to, I'm available. Like, no, go away.
No thanks.
Or who knows, maybe it's like it's the opposite of You're So Vain, but you think the song is about you. It's like, you're so aloof, you'd never think this song is about you. And I'm out. That's it for me.
We just tackle it head on with me and Health are always like, this song's about how Kim's gonna break up and go solo. And they're like, this is one of Kim's many songs about going solo. People laugh and then we play it, and it's like,
pretty good.
This is Kim's murder ballad about someone named Sam, but not me.
Murder ballad.
I don't know, man. It feels like this is about you. Like,
Oh, that's so funny.
just describes me. Like, are you sure this isn't? Like, no.
You paused it, bro?
Okay, all right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I do think every once in a while, like he doesn't even listen to the lyrics most of the time.
Yeah.
If I bring him something, like, and I know Health doesn't at all. So every once in a while, though, he'll get a line and he'll just be like, ow, ouch. Like he knows it's not about him, but damn.
Like we were recording stuff, I'll listen because then I listen to what it is. But yeah, we first start playing it. I'm too busy trying to like not
You're trying to work out your
Trying to
shit.
learn
run
to-
your
yeah,
song.
yeah.
Because when you're the
Not
one
ruin
playing
it.
the guitar, you'll be like, oh, missed that chord, missed that chord. Then she just like stares.
Yeah, because then that song, the next
Just
song is
became-
about you.
Right, it
Like,
just Something wasn't about you until you just fucked up that
Yeah.
bad. And it's like, oh no,
The Reddit song about
I made the breakup song
my guitar
about
player
me.
who can't play guitar.
Right.
No, I like that.
Well, this is really cool to get to we talk about this a lot just personally, like getting to interview another couple that plays music together.
Yeah.
But I would really like to kind of go back to the beginning, and I'm gonna ask Rachel first since I just took the floor and she's the other lady in the room. When did you start playing music? Like, what got you started?
I started singing when I was little. I remember coming home singing like the Pledge of Allegiance or something, and my parents were like, "Who taught you that?" And I was like, "I don't know. I just started doing it." And they were so impressed. I was like, "Well, I love this feeling." And so just kept on singing. And then my mom was like, "Well, you need to learn how to play an instrument with it," because she plays the flute. My dad used to play piano when he was little, and they've always sang. And so she got me started on guitar. And, I just started out with those basic chords and eventually started putting it together. But guitar was at like 12.
Oh, wow.
I want to say. And then singing was like, I don't know, 6 or 7. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So pretty little.
So yeah, so you've just always done it as like a
Yeah. I
you know.
love singing. It is my
Yeah.
favorite thing. I'm okay at guitar, but singing is my favorite thing. Just to be honest.
I think you're real good, babe.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
As a singer, I can appreciate that because, like, I just never have mastered another instrument. I
Yeah.
passably play a couple of instruments, but never on stage, and maybe not even passably play a couple of instruments.
Yeah.
But like as a
feel ya.
singer, singing with other people is my favorite thing.
Hell yeah.
Harmonies.
So I could never, like, I just couldn't do it without somebody else. It would not be fun.
Yeah, I get
you know?
that.
But I'm very impressed by people who can get on stage and do it themselves too, you know?
Well, and did you grow up, did you ever have like a fear of singing in front of people?
Oh yeah, absolutely. 'Cause,
Same.
yeah, I grew up in church,
Yep.
and my mom, like, as soon as she knew I could sing, would like, "Oh, well, you're gonna sing in church."
I
Such
still
a mom
do,
thing.
shit.
But like, I had a very particular tick with mine. I couldn't stop clearing my throat on stage. Oh. And so it was like very embarrassing. But like, that just went away with time, really. Cause like, I would say like I was probably 25 or so when I stopped singing.
Yeah.
And just didn't do anything musical for a really long time. And when I got back on stage like 42, I just wasn't nervous anymore. I don't know why.
That's
like,
amazing.
Like, yeah.
I found
Just went away.
confidence as an adult. I guess.
That helps.
Yeah.
At one point in my life, I don't know who it was. Willie Dog, stop it. Somebody had told, I think somebody told me this, or I read it in a book that was like, stage fright is almost this like crazy form of narcissism where like what you're expected to be, like you think you should be so perfect that you won't make a mistake, and that causes you the anxiety of fucking it up. I don't know. Wherever that idea originally came was way more eloquently put at one point, but it stuck with me to be like, you know what, you're right. Who the fuck am I anyway? If I go mess up,
Yeah.
I'm a human. Now I am, like we said, we do it professionally, so we try and not mess
not
up. We
mess
try
up.
not, but guess
But it
what we're gonna
happens.
do?
Yeah.
It's always that thing too where it's just like, everyone I go see plays really well, and you don't notice, like, everyone you're seeing is like, I always tell people who are starting out, I was like, dude, I used to do like photography professionally at concerts, and you always knew when someone fucked up because the rest of the band would look back.
Yeah.
And you're like, you wouldn't hear it. There'd be there's like something like even like rock bars, there's like 8 people playing.
Yeah.
Someone hits a wrong, except for the bass. The bass is the one that's
Well,
like, oh, you're in your own frequency, you just fucked up.
Yeah, you only notice the bass if we fuck up.
Right,
you
but
know?
most of the time it's like, oh man, I totally blew that. People in the band are like, you did? Like, I didn't even hear that happen. So that's really it. It's mostly just learning that we all make mistakes and
honestly, just don't announce it out loud that you did it.
Yeah.
Because chances are the audience didn't hear it.
Yeah, truly.
Sometimes
you can make if it's really is obvious, you can always make a good joke out of it.
Exactly. That's my favorite.
I remember we saw Brian Wilson like a concert later in life, and he was singing, his voice cracked, and he just reached over and grabbed a glass of water and like shook it and took a sip, and it was like, yeah, that's the way you handle that eloquently and not just like, oh well, I'm just gonna hide this, or just like, haha, here's what happened.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a lot of fun, it's just getting out there, and it's a human experience, man. Some of the
definitely, I've been here the whole time, and I followed all of that.
Yeah. So we've now all discovered the only way to get over stage fright is straight through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me, I guess I did just kind of skip out and I just won't perform for 20 years.
I will say, for me, one of the most exciting things coming out of the pandemic was like those first couple shows. Like, dude, I'm like scared,
nervous again.
I know, and I haven't felt this in so long.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, that's what stopped me from. I always knew as a kid I wanted to do music, and I didn't start until I was basically an adult, and so I was like, and it was always that fear of comparing yourself to others. All the music I loved, these are people that I could never do that, and it's the same thing all of us do to some extent. Well, maybe not. It's what we do. Compare ourselves to others and then go, oh my God. Even after a couple years of fully making like my living in music, it is this like imposter syndrome thing where I'm like, we're in our own niche where I'm like, I came from these weird bluegrass and roots backgrounds and weird underground folk punk bullshit, and it's like, I'm none of them exactly. And we play in Oklahoma where we're definitely not red dirt, and that's what is very prominent around here, which there's a lot of good artists, but I'd say personally it runs together a bit, at a certain point. And so I'm grateful that we've been able to like weasel our way in and be like, listen, we don't play that type of country, but I don't not play country. Well,
it's good to be the oddball, kind of like the palate cleanser where you're like, I've heard 8 bands that sound the same, then this comes in, it's like, oh yeah, it reset me, like it sounded cool.
We've been grateful for the types of comments we have gotten like that. We're like, wow, that was different, and like we're grateful, like that was really fun, that was a lot different experience than we have most of these other nights or whatever.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Our shows our longer shows too are not just, it's not just music, we try and entertain, like
we tell jokes, we get the crowd involved, we tell our stories and hope that they, have some kind of reaction to it.
I think it might be that I've never really connected the dots on this, but like it seems like everybody I know that likes to go see live music likes all genres of music.
Yeah.
You love live music. And
you just want to go see somebody play something live, and like maybe it'll be original, or maybe they'll do a really cool cover of something you know or you don't know, and you could check out a new art. Like I feel like that's the kind of people that go
because they're
to live music,
because it's the community of music, and like live music just brings an energy of its own, and I know as performers, I know that I love going to any show and seeing how anybody does their thing, and be like, oh, that's vastly different than what I do, or vastly the same, in the same route. Like when I do solo, and most of our stuff is our duo acts, like her and I together, but when I play solo, 2 of my all-time favorite heroes, icons of solo musicians are Possessed by Paul James and Charlie Parr. And the time I got to see them play together, like on the same bill, it's just, each one of them is just one man and X amount of instruments up there doing their thing. PPJ has all of his instruments like just perfectly placed on stands around him in this way, and then plays all of his songs almost nothing like the albums, and like they're free flow and they're beautiful, amazing, crazy folk thing that he does. And then Charlie Parr gets up there, all of his guitars are just like on top of cases and kind of strewn about, and he looks disheveled, and then he goes and he plays almost exactly what you would hear on the album, like basically exactly, like he's so precise. It was precise and perfection. It was amazing. Like, and both of them are so wildly different, and both my favorite thing, that I'm like, okay, stop worrying. You know what? It's at the end of the day, it should be self-serving to an extent. It's almost the most selfish thing I do is create my own music.
Right.
Yeah.
And it is. we're just stoked anytime somebody else likes it at all. It's like, fuck yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what gets me going.
No, it is. It's really cool that happens. Especially last night was cool because it was Stella. That was her name. She came up to the mic. She played at Kirby's. Because afterwards it was an open jam we played last night. And she was really sweet. Kind of seemed quiet and kind of reserved. And I was like, oh, she's gonna get up there and she was like, y'all were great. The vocals were cool. We're like, dude, thanks. It was really nice. And then she, I'm like, oh, she's gonna get up there and be real somber. And then man, she had an amazing voice.
Heck yeah.
She had an Erykah Badu cover and stuff. She's doing all these jazzy chords. I'm like, okay, that was amazing because I was expecting
yeah,
and then it's just no, just
I love that.
blew every, and I was so that was the biggest ego boost I had all night. I was like that girl said we sounded
right,
good.
Yeah,
she knows how to sing, and she told me that. Where when I first started dating Kim and she knew how to sing, I was like, oh no, it's the Scott Pilgrim thing. It's she knows we suck. Oh no, she knows.
Yeah, but it's funny. I think he just as a person of size, I think that I get underestimated sometimes, and
you're also really short.
Also, probably as a woman,
yeah. So people underestimate me all the time, but since I've been performing on stage with Sam, it has definitely boosted my confidence. That at first I thought it was funny, why are all these people so surprised that I can sing?
Yeah,
because I've always done it.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like a weird thing to me, and I've only had one or two people be weird about it. But to me, that's the thing. People underestimate you, and then you go up on stage, and they're like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I try to use it as a weapon.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, it just fuels you because you also know where you're at. You're at the end of the day, fuck them. The haters because they hate us. No. Some people are just going to be haters. I vividly remember years ago, probably close to 10 years ago or something at this point, if not at least, maybe probably 10 years ago. I was at a songwriter night open mic thing with one of my old acts, with my good buddy Victor, and after we finished playing our couple songs, I remember this one guy that was part of not who ran it, but was in this clique there. He was like, you know what? Maybe if you're gonna sing, maybe you should stick to background vocals, or maybe just not. I don't think singing is for you. And I just went at the time. That's one incredibly bold. Not something I would say to anybody in general. Anyway, it seems like kind of a dick move.
True.
And nowadays I'm singing is mainly y'all were talking about, I love playing banjo. I don't ever consider I'm not trying to get the best musically. I try and improve all the time, but I know I'm not one of these crazy shredders or anything like that. I like my songwriting and I like to sing, and so now years later I've had so many people say the opposite of you should stop singing,
right?
And it's wow, why was this guy? Yeah, my wife thank goodness I could sing because that's what she liked first, well,
it's
the way you held that bass.
Yeah, that and the way I held the bass.
I think it was the dude who recorded one of the first Buffalo Springfield recordings and told Neil Young that you're a hell of a guitar player, but you should stop singing.
Yeah.
And then we're 60 years into that career, okay, well maybe people don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, there's always going to be some, but and that's the thing, and there's always going to be somebody that has some shit to talk, and I always remind myself that the one doing the most of it about me is me. I'm the biggest shit talker of myself. I think.
Oh yeah.
And it's just stop. We were talking about, I don't know if that was on or off mic. We were talking about getting a type of burnout with booking and stuff, or almost a feeling of defeat at times when you send. When we do this for our living, I'm sending out. She runs basically all of our local stuff, and I do tour booking and stuff like that. And I'm sending out, thousands of emails, and I hear back from a handful, and then you try and go from there. And it can be so defeating after a while, where things aren't, sometimes things don't click, exactly the right way. We had a venue fall through that we had a great show at, and then they kind of very good show. All around, and nothing that we could be even delusional about, and then they kind of ghosted us, and this is on a tour route, and then not hearing back from them, and then hearing back that it was booked months later or whatever. crushed me. Like, and it was just one venue falling out that I lost a lot of gumption for reaching. I was like, lost the zest for tour booking and stuff for a minute, but that's crazy. It's my favorite thing to do is tour and play and stuff, and I know we can do it, and part of the game is not booking that one this time, but dang,
what a heartbreaker.
After a full year of being so, we're very grateful to be exhausted, grateful to be very busy, but it was still just that one hit me, made me, I was like, why did that? It was like, the final straw, that made it so I was like, oh, I'm crushed now. I don't even want to send out, I don't want to keep just getting a no, even though I've gotten confirmations, a bunch of them since, and it still was just like, oh.
That was a big one.
one.
It's just the best thing about booking is like me and John were having this, it made it even worse because we're having like this mutual doom spiral together and we're both just feeding each other's paranoia and sadness. And it's just like, oh God, we can't do this. And we're like this giant hole in the middle of tours. Like, well, somehow we're going to be in Colorado. Then we got to be like, 1,000 miles away 4 days later with nothing between. And then it's like, we suck. Maybe we do suck. Maybe we shouldn't play.
Right? That is the thing. Like there's
it's like
maybe
this
we are
full
the worst.
calendar everywhere else, but these 4 shows aren't happening. We suck.
Isn't that the truth though? Like, yeah,
so
you know what? You guys should have put me. I would have loved to just doom spiral with you and John and be like, we'll never play. Are we even musicians?
This might be the end. No one's ever gonna want us to play there again.
Yeah, we played about 180 gigs last year in 13 different states. We were trying to slow it down a tad from there, but still want to be this is all we want to do. But like it is that thing, we're like everything else is full, we're booked out, like we have things on the schedule all year, but wow, I guess maybe we should just hang it up. Nobody wants us. Nobody wants to see us in Des Moines right now. That's not even the actual one.
This is the end. This is the end of us right here.
The highs and lows of being a musician are so strong.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy how, like, in the middle of summer last year, we had like 3 cancellations in a row, and I was just in a funk about it because it was too hot, and they were all outside gigs, and I was just in such a funk. It was so hard. And then the highs, like being on tour, like everything is so exciting and everything feels so good, and those good shows are just incredible. Well, so
and like
roller coaster.
When you're doing it in the way we do, we have several friends that live our same type of lifestyle, as in we don't just play original music. Now we're grateful that we do play every set that we ever play is a bunch of originals are in there. Like we're grateful to play at all these bars, venues and stuff, that when we do our 3-hour sets, like of course sprinkle in some covers and stuff. I always also just play anything that I like anyway and hope it works out. But we it's not just these like 1-hour festival shows and stuff like that. Like some gigs are more like we're going to work, like we're gonna be in the corner for the next 2 hours and just providing ambiance to this area, which I enjoy, and it's for its own reasons. And then like there are times where we'll have an hour show that's just nothing but insanity, and then they're like in such a good response and all originals. And then there's times where we've had 3-hour shows where the entire time was just like, these people are awesome. Thank you for everybody, like for people hanging out. Like we play little bars, we play it's nothing, we're not doing stadiums and shit, but sometimes like 60 people bring stadium energy for sometimes 5 people can, like, it's quality over quantity. Like there's Tuesday, y'all are playing at Beer is Good tonight, Tuesday gig.
So much fun.
They got such a great little like community there, and every time we've played on a Tuesday, it's like, of course it's a Tuesday. We're not expecting people to be out partying and stuff, and there's a handful of their regulars and patrons and people now that when we come out and play, and it's just we can interact with everybody, and we get super weird and they're into it. And it's like, this is what we're looking for.
Let's get
awesome. But those are like going out into slow season. Once we went from playing 3 to 6 shows a week, and then we go a week without playing a show, it's like, are we even musicians anymore? Do I know, like,
slow season?
How does this guitar even work?
Yeah.
We have this
Can't
weird
slow down
gig. We
either.
like that's one of my favorites. It's Mod in Galveston, where it's like this coffee shop, and you know they actually pay you. But you are like where an old trolley stop used to be, so you're literally on the sidewalk. And then there's where people walk, and then there's all these tables and chairs where people sit and watch. And it's always the most fun, because you get like the people who won't make eye contact, because it's like we'll have to tip if we look at them. And then but you have people who post up for like both hours, and you're just like, this is crazy. Like we're on a sidewalk. It's like, no man, we're having fun.
Heck yeah, it's like
So
almost
cool.
busking-esque.
Yeah, and it's like
And since Galveston is such a touristy town, there's always people who are out of town,
Yeah.
on vacation, and they don't have anything to do, so
Heck
they just
yeah.
sit down.
So
Yeah,
fun.
that's
I
awesome.
think we normally do good on merch. It's just weird, but it's
Yeah.
just this funny thing that's like no matter how big, not big, but how if we played nicer, ticketed venues in Galveston, it's like I still want to do that because I like it. I like doing it a couple times a year.
And there's something like, I like being like seeing what we can do to with a crowd's energy or whatnot. Like if we can, like I like being face to face and being like seeing that we made an impact. We like what we are goofing around helped anybody else have like a fun night. Is magic, is awesome,
the best feeling.
and like I feel like you get to see it a lot more now. I've been lucky enough that I guess there are people that play big stages and you can see it because it's a big loud crowd, but I don't know, like there's something about intimate shows that I like in general.
It is magic.
Yeah, I like what we do.
It's like we were talking about earlier. There's the group of people that enjoy like live music, but that is not the same group of people that enjoy concerts.
Yeah.
That's a different thing.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah, it was what was it? We were listening to that. Was it Under the Big? No, it was the other one. More Fun in the New World. So it was like a book they did about like L.A. like punk documentaries, like John Doe did, and a couple other people. And there was Henry Rollins talking about that. Like, one of his friends, like he's like, I'm not gonna name it, but it's one of the Seattle bands. And he's like, they big stadium show around L.A. come off stage. Like, how was your show? And he goes, they all did like the big like air guitar thing, and like, no one gives a shit, dude. We got up there, they got their beer, they got their t-shirt, they got their like selfies of everybody, and that was it. We could play anything and they just be like, oh my god. As long as we close with the radio hits, they don't give a shit.
Well, it's crazy going or even like recently or like end of last year we went and saw to a bigger show and it's like sold out, big following. We don't go to shows like that a lot because I don't like the environment too much most of the time, but
I don't like to stand.
Standing, and we got lucky where our friends let us stand above and got to kind of look down at this big crowd, and that like it's such an like that people love this artist and stuff, and there's still the back half that's just chattering and hanging the whole time. And I'm like, you guys, some people have paid $50 or something, and or who knows for their beers and stuff, like just to not watch the show is crazy to me.
That's why, I don't have that disposable income. Like, we pay for a show, like it's especially if it's a Ticketmaster show, it's like fuck.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be like, all right, man, we get this next paycheck we can pay for tickets to this one.
Right.
And then you go and it's just like, dude, I was doing my boat.
Yeah.
And you're like, cool, man, this is great.
Right.
Like, why would you buy all these tickets?
Just to ignore it, and that's why I like I'm glad when we get to see artists in smaller venues and stuff like that. Like
So much fun. Way more
Definitely.
fun.
We stopped going a long time ago. I think it was Casey Musgrave's second album. Like we went and saw her on
Nice.
her tour. I saw her first tour as well, but like that second one, I dragged Sam with me because we had just started dating, and I wanted to murder every girl that was dressed just like her, standing in front of the stage, taking a selfie, like talking to their friends.
Right. Well, it's even worse when they're at the front too, and it's just like,
Yes.
why are you right here?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you go. Just, you know what?
They're
It's your
everywhere.
prerogative
They're in
if
the
you want to
front, they're
spend
in
the
the
money
back.
and prove that you were there and talk or whatever. But then just go. Like there's going to be
things.
real fans there, or people there that want to watch.
Right.
Hopefully, right? Hopefully.
But then there's also going to be people that got drug with their friends that
Yeah.
didn't really want to be there, and
Yeah.
they're like making the experience terrible for everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hate that like it's like that in Houston. I hate to hear it's like that in Oklahoma.
It's everywhere. I mean, it's everywhere. And like, actually,
want
that
it to
show was in
be.
the
I
one I
know.
was talking. The big one was actually not even in Oklahoma. It was,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was a Dallas thing. Which
Yeah.
I mean, southern Oklahoma.
Texas.
That's me and Ian. That's why we getting more into like metal bands and stuff. It's so loud you can't hear the people talking.
It's true, yeah.
So it's like, this is a great live experience. Because everybody else, it's like, we're gonna play this quiet song. You hear the dudes like,
I guess you know what? It is our bad. I shouldn't like acoustic music as much as I do. It's just not loud enough to tone us.
So we would tell people, why do you go to all these? I guess y'all do it. Like, do y'all not like the music you play anymore? All y'all do is go to all these metal shows. Like, because I can hear the band, and I can't hear the audience. It's like I go see all the folk singers and stuff that I see at like the old court, like a small place where,
and then like old court
they're
won't
like,
play.
shut up.
Like, yeah, they're gonna be like, we will kick you out.
Right. It's like, okay. And I'm like, that's what I need, because otherwise, like, shit, we went and saw the last thing we went to that was semi-quiet was me and he went and saw Drive-By Truckers at, on this last day doing the Southern Rock Opera Tour. And, was it the 3 Alabama Icons? Like, you start talking, people are so loud talking that Patterson Hood's like, do y'all want to hear this or y'all want to talk?
Yeah.
And he's like, we can just jam, and people like, he's like, all right, cool. So he's like jammed guitar and skipped it. And you're like, cool, man. Thanks. Like, y'all took this away from us.
Yeah.
That's so frustrating.
That is damn. Like, yeah, we even in our little shows, we've called people out when it's just like, hey, you want to just not be right there then, like if you.
My favorite thing in the world is telling a crowd to shh. And it works.
Does it?
Sometimes. Like, we've
More
got
often than not, but you got to pick the right moment.
Yeah, and like that's always at like some of our home bars and stuff where it's just like we also know that if somebody starts fucking with us even more, it's like, cool, we know everybody that works here, you are screwed. Like,
Yeah. Bam.
yeah, but I like that. Like, because we do try and interact with the crowd, like crowds and stuff. Like when we know that people are engaged and stuff like that, it's a lot of fun for us. And sometimes I guess it's just like making sure that it's like, oh no, they took that as a free pass to I'm gonna yell all the time now. Like,
Thank you.
I'm part of the show.
Great.
Like,
That's where we try to keep it, depending on the location. Because, as you know, someone who also goes out, I've been to plenty of like breweries or like open things where the music's supposed to be ambiance. The dude's got it cranked to like 11.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't even hang out with anybody because it's like, you've got the carry, we get a lot of those, especially down near the water now. And
that is definitely something else. That, like, like where I refer to some as shows, some as gigs. Like when it's our job, like, yeah, there are certain times where I know it's like, oh, we would like people to hear us, but we know it's not like, they're not at restaurants and stuff. You're not there. Well, unless we have a lot of friends and people that do come out to see us and eat. But the average patron is going to go eat and drink or whatever. And then they're like, oh, here's music. If they don't sit and stare at us, say we're on a patio, then we can't be offended because they're there to eat and enjoy on their date, on their whatever. But it's just like, making sure. And I always try and go to the closest tables at places like that and be like, let us know if this comes off. Like, if this is too loud, we go we'll sound check. But you never know. Some people are more particular than others. And you'll be like, hey, let us know if it's too loud. And they'll be like, yeah, of course. And then like 20 minutes later, the server will come up and be like, hey, they said it was too loud. And I went, but not to me. Oh, okay, well, thank you. We will adjust.
Yeah, we normally do that. It's like, I'm like, we go to brewery, we like come to these places and, visiting with friends. So we're here to provide some background if you're into it. So just let us know, man, for making. So after the first song, it's like, are we running your night? And it's like, no, everything's great. Like, okay, cool.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, more
let us
often
know if we
than
can
not,
turn it down.
Yeah. At least that's like only the one time I can remember. You see, it's the same thing where I was like, oh, this one negative thing had happened to this point where I went, well, now I'm going to be. That's all I'm going to focus on. Yeah.
Well, it's good. That's my deal. Like, there's a difference between playing like we're ambient as opposed to like you paid tickets to be here.
Yeah.
And then I feel like obligated to the majority of people to be like, hey, loud guy, shut the fuck up. Because, let's always tell Kim, it's like we all bought like a giant pool of water and we all own like 1/5 of it. Doesn't mean you can take a shit in your 1/5 because it's going to float into all of our area. So you can't do that. Well, I bought my ticket. I can do what I want. It's like, no.
Yeah, still respect the
there's
space.
There's an implied community like care thing happening here.
Yeah.
You don't get to come in and poison everything because you bought 1/5 of, or in concert, you bought 1/500th of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh. It's the people that feel like they control something just because they bought a ticket or whatever. The only show I've ever played that I cried at was I was on stage and this lady in the crowd, she's at the bar, she's plugging her ears and yelling at the top of her lungs how much I suck. And I was like, what?
Wow.
And so, like, when I was leaving, the bar paid me. They were like, we're so sorry. We thought you were country. We didn't research. This is years and years ago. And I was like, okay. They paid me to leave early.
Oh, wow.
And on my way out, I was like, does this make you feel good? I talked to the lady. I was like, why would you treat another human like that? And she goes, I paid my dues. I've drank at this bar for years. I'm like,
So that means I can be rude to a stranger.
yeah, isn't that crazy? The
paid my
entitlement.
dues.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, because I'm a
know.
customer here, so I can tell them how the music should be, and I can treat people like shit. It's just that it's one of those moments where, like, okay, I don't need to know.
Yeah, those
This
aren't the
person.
people that I want in my life.
No, and that's like weeding it. It's like, all right, this
crazy.
isn't a venue anyway. That
Yeah.
If your regulars act like that, it shows that you're okay with these people.
yeah.
What
They're-
made me cry even harder was there was a table in the back of people that really liked me, and as I'm crying on my way out, one girl ran behind me, and I thought it was the scary lady that was yelling. It was not. She goes, hey, our table really liked you, and handed me just like a wad of tips from her table. And so I got in the car, cried even harder, and like started driving home. It's like, what a mixed night.
Right?
Yeah, well, what a life, like that is like, that's,
Highs and lows.
it's what it is, we like, we played X amount of shows last year, and it's like, then after that, we learn which venues and areas are more worthwhile or more our scene or not, like good fits or not, or some decided on their own, I guess, like if they're gonna book us again. But we have, it's deciding like, oh, this demographic isn't something that we're gonna enjoy, even if they do book us again, or there are certain venues that underpay, yada yada. That's like, oh, gotta get those out of there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the highs and lows of just being like, because all it is us up there. Like anytime, it's hard not to take it personal when it doesn't go well.
So
when it's such a
difficult.
personal thing that we do.
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
I was just thinking that. Yeah.
yeah, but it comes back to like being like, look, that was years ago, and look at you still making your entire living off of it.
Bonkers. Yeah.
So speaking of that, like it wasn't something that either of you had done like as your only means of, making a living. What made you guys decide you could do it? Or you just were like, I'm going to see if we can do it because I like it so much.
I'll let you go first.
I mean,
Different stories.
yeah, way different stories. I mean, my start in music basically was the start of me just like traveling full time. So I almost was doing music as my job because I didn't have a job or a place or anything. I didn't have any responsibilities besides my dog and moving around. And, that's my relationship with music's developed a lot over the years. Then it went to basically not playing, to reintroducing myself into society, learning how to have a job and play music at the same time. And then now in the last few years since we got together, she was already established as a solo musician and making her living that way. I'd been running, a business doing carpentry but gigging a lot. Had kept being like, I know I could do the grind. Like it was just a leap, just as anything else. Like also, how much do I want to play 15 hours a week, like 20 hours a week? Is that gonna change my view of music, like of everything? I'll rein it in. I'll rein in my train of thought here.
But no, it's true. Like when you start to think about that, those are all the things that you don't realize you're going to have to make allowances for.
Yeah.
Getting yourself into.
Well, it is like, and so like I essentially didn't even rebrand, but like started packaging our local shows as, hey, it's duo, so just that's it. Let the rates agree with, go that way, type of thing. I lost my whole train of thought, really.
Well, I can talk about.
Yeah, fucking whatever.
It happens.
You tell me
I'm
if you
married to
remember.
Sam, so.
We were just talking about music. Like, what? I mean, the question is like, why we get it, or
Yeah, like what made you decide you wanted to do it full time? Like you just decided to take that leap.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, because it's my favorite thing in the world. Like, and it's like I don't feel like there's anything I'm really made for better than like entertaining, like in that venue. Like, it's very funny. Of course, I say that now after just having a complete brain fart of being like just having a conversation. But
well, you talked about you picked up music only as like a, you were traveling. It was kind of your default job.
Yeah, like
but now it's turned into like, this is the thing that I love the most, and I can't imagine not doing anything else.
Well, because like my whole musical origins were busking, like, and so like I've always, and like with busking, one, you're trying to make money, obviously, but you're learning to, busking's not always about how you sound. Like, True. You gotta like try and get, like, people are not, no one is there to see you at all. Like, you're on the street, people are walking past, so like hopefully something about what you're doing already engages them when you're walking down the street, and then like by the time they get to you, they're like interested enough to either stop for a second or at least give you $1 type of thing. But like that, like busking taught me everything about performance and engaging strangers and stuff like that. And
I feel like why you're so good at it. I didn't grow up busking.
Yeah, and like, well, there's something about like my brain and everything knows the difference between showtime and not, like, or being able to like quote unquote turn it on or whatever, and like use that showtime fucking thing. But like, it's just all I've ever wanted to do is live as authentically as myself as possible, which kind of means not working for somebody else. I'm not very good at that all the time. Having my own schedule, even if it's chaos, and with the added stresses of it is the craziness, because obviously we don't have like a 401k or benefits or anything like that.
At the rates going, people with 401ks don't have one right now, so it's okay.
But they all be in the same boat soon.
And like I didn't go to school for anything, so why not play banjo for a living?
And on the alternate side, I went to college for human resources, human relations. So I have my bachelor's in that, and I started working for a big kid job, or it started doing a big kid job. I don't know.
Working for a big kid job.
And it was not my favorite at all. Anytime I've worked with like steady hours and a steady paycheck, it drives my brain insane. I don't know why. Probably that ADHD up in there. But
monotony.
Yeah, the monotony doesn't do well for me. So I've always wanted to play music. Like when I was little, my first CD was Britney Spears. It's like, she is my idol. I want to be a rock star. And so like from about 15, I would play like a show a year and like do all of my 5 songs. And I'd get like $15 or whatever. And when I started working my big kid job, I started playing music more to get all that like uncomfortableness of being in that job out, and realized that people would pay me. I was like, okay, all right, hold on. What else can I do? Like, can I do more of these gigs? Are there more places to play? Because I had no idea about any of it. And started playing more shows on the weekends. So I would get home super late and then have to wake up super early for that job, and realized I would have to pick. So I chose and decided to like venture out and do a big tour as I was leaving the company. And all my friends there were like, can you sing? I'm like,
oh, wow.
Yeah. I know I sound goofy when I talk, but like I can sing. And so I had to like prove to them, it felt like. I was like, all right, guys, hold on. This is what I do. And I played it for them, and they were like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah. Thank you for being worried about me, I guess.
Right.
Thanks for underestimating me.
Yeah.
They all have and like our backgrounds are so different, where I was like, almost none of my friends in my history have like lived very pragmatically. Like we're fringe class, like, but also, and so it's always been like, oh, you're gonna go do something reckless? Fuck yeah, like so are we. Like, like let us know how it goes. Like,
yeah, it was definitely a shock to all of my steady job friends.
Hearing you talking about just your thought process and doing it made me go, oh God, yeah. That's why my answer was so frilly, because I'm like, I kind of just fly by the seat of my pants fucking half the time. Luck is preparation meets opportunity, like, and I feel like I just keep taking any opportunities that look like it leads to more music. I just keep taking that one, and then hoping
that's why he married me.
That's it, I married her for the music. She married me for my parents' hot tub. So
your parents.
I really do.
We don't have a hot tub, but
they
my
gave me the app and everything.
Yeah. I moved out of the state of Texas, and now I live closer to my folks that still live in Texas.
Well, it is a big state.
This very Texas.
Yeah.
Like,
So good.
Yep.
I remember the dude from St. Arnold, Brock, used to always say on the tour, we started selling beer to Louisiana because it was closer than Texas. And I was like, yeah.
Like it.
So how did y'all actually meet? I don't think I know that story either.
He was touring through my hometown. You been to El Reno, Oklahoma?
With Rock Bottom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, El Reno has a bar called Vices, and Vices Bar and Venue, they're fantastic. And Griff was touring through with Rock Bottom, and I didn't know any of them or their music. I just knew Chandra, their merch girl, and she was like, hey, come see me. I'm like, all right, sure, I'm not doing anything tonight. So I dress up in my mushroom dress. I'm like, all right, I'm going out. And I knew everybody at Vices already, like the owners, and I was like, all right, it'll be a fun night. And I go out, and I hear his voice. I'm like, so Chandra, who is that? Just like, that's Griffin. Like, haha, all right. His voice is incredible. I bought them all beers, and you know, it was really neat to hear music that I hadn't heard before. But I
gave you a really weak side hug.
Gave me a really weak side hug. Yeah, side hugs.
That works, Sam.
And yeah, it turns out they all like had COVID that night. Anyway,
That's what the funniest thing of apparently us sounding so good that night and me singing well. Like that was one of the most difficult shows that we've ever played. We did not know we had COVID at the time. We obviously, like that day, we started feeling poorly and we were playing this set, and I literally like made an exit from the stage, and like, if I need to puke or pass out or fall, like I'm gonna go right there. Right off the stage, like I was just hanging in there.
Oh, wow.
And it was
no clue.
It was rough as hell. And then like that's why that night she come up and was introducing herself. I was like, hello, hi. Here's a little hug. Oh, thank you for the beer. And then we went back to the hotel and crashed out.
yeah.
And then the next day she hits me up.
I was like, hey, you have a beautiful voice. It's really nice to meet you. And he responded back, and I threw my phone down. I was like, can't deal with this right now. It's a lot. I got all nervous.
Right. I know I messaged him, but he messaged me back.
Yeah, so 2 weeks later, I'd driven down to Texas. Like we had been talking and just getting to know each other more. And I was like, well, I think we're best friends.
Yeah, we just didn't stop talking.
Yeah. And so I went down to Texas, and like he gave me the biggest hug I've ever gotten in my life, and we were married less than a year later.
Aww.
And yeah, our 2-year wedding anniversary is literally a week from today. So.
Yeah. Whoop, whoop.
So
Anniversary
that show
podcast.
must have been like after you guys hit Houston.
Was it December? Was that in December? Or no, maybe just been that's not bad. It was only Matt
3 years
had it.
ago.
Oh,
May 22.
Okay, yeah, because that was December 21 is when Matt got it, and me and Rebecca both got it for Christmas.
Yeah.
We did those dates at Old Quarter and Dan Electro's.
Oh yeah, and then so Rock Bottom we did a really good job of just spreading the gospel.
No, we all got it.
Yeah,
like,
to everybody.
we've
Yeah.
all gotten it on the
No,
website.
and
It's
obviously,
crazy.
like it was one of those things. It's the risk of the traveling and touring. But what we've stuck to our rule, and I know Rock Bottom still does it. Like where it's, I always say, no mouth stuff on tour. You know, like we don't share mouth stuff. Only hand stuff is okay with our friends.
There you go.
So no sharing joints.
Yeah, no sharing joint. You know,
Just in case.
I remember our first tour back when I was playing with Rock Bottom. The first tour, fresh out of COVID, and it was like all of the rules, like, and like most of them a lot of them have stuck. You know, like and like what we do when we tour and stuff, where it's like, I mean, when you're out for a couple weeks, the worst thing is getting sick on the road, and then COVID,
Misery.
changed the game. It took us off the road for a while, and then
Swear to God, every time we go on tour, we come back sick.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, not even like sick, but like with some type of. I mean,
I love hugging people.
Yeah, I do too.
And I love hugging her, so that's
That might be it, because it might be y'all, because me and Griff. No, I mean we hug people, but we're so high. We're like so high up above everyone's breath.
Yeah,
it's just like, oh, come hug and bury your face like in my chest, and I'll give you a hug. Where y'all are like face to face,
face to face, just good.
And then we kneel down to give y'all hugs, and it's like, oh, we got whatever you got.
I missed it. Yeah.
I will not be blamed.
It just
For those of
hit
y'all
me.
who don't have, we didn't know one seeing this on video, but Sam was just out the look.
I kind of like gaslighting people to think that there is a video. Whoever didn't stream into the live video of this, that way everybody's listening and being like,
Why do they
wait,
get to see it?
wait, who? How did you? Where's the link to that? We'll attach the link in the bio of this. Don't
In the
worry.
description.
It's just a Rickroll
Yeah, we
video.
gotta
Right.
just take out the part where I said we're gaslighting. That was this is legit.
AI just have like the face with just the mouth moving. You know?
I like it.
I wonder if we could do that. I know we're always getting hassled about doing video, but we don't.
No.
Oops.
No, man. Yeah, we're talking. Like I was like, oh, we're barely getting going. It's like, no, we've
been talking a while.
I do. It is one of those. I think it's one of those where I don't know how many if we let you ask enough questions or not.
Right? Oh no, y'all are good.
No, this is great.
Got more dumb questions?
Well, I know that every time I talked, halfway through, I went, I think I changed the subject on myself. But
Oh, I am the
Do you
worst.
know how many times?
You know how many times I have to edit me asking questions where it's like I start talking to someone, then I get halfway through, and I go back and start another one, and then I start explaining why I was asking the question, and then it's like that made no like how did they even understand what I had asked?
I'm just grateful there's an editing process to this. So I'm like,
Yeah, because normally it's to fix my mistakes. I'm just like, how did anyone have they answered the question I was trying to ask, but I never completed it. I started it 8 different ways, and then just was like, well, you know,
yeah.
and it's just because it all just starts bleeding together. I think the hardest part with
Might
this
be
is
time for some medication, baby.
well, the hardest part is sitting here while people are talking, and you go, like, I want to ask about this, I want to ask about that. Like this is relates here. Then by the time they're done, it's like
I forgot.
1 word from each question I thought of. It turns into like
You try to put
what?
it together, and it's like that wasn't
What
a
the
thing
hell
that didn't exist.
were you talking about?
That's what I kept going to answer what I thought was a question, and then I would go halfway through and go, wait, what was the what did you ask me? Because
You're
I'm
not
now I'm
alone.
just talking. Nice. Got a date.
You.
I know. I recently ate a date for the first time. Like that's how much what was it? Raiders of the Lost Ark fucked with me, or Temple of Doom. I was like, I'm never eating those. Like that's bad. Like it'll kill you. And then I was somewhere. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And like it was a big moment for me. I was just like, we're gonna eat this date. And it's not gonna kill us. It's not gonna kill the monkey. It's fine.
They're so good, man.
I know they were, but it was that was my only mental thing. Is like it killed the monkey.
Well, it was only last year that Sam found out that the Indiana Jones series was not documentaries based. So.
Right? All dates are poisoned. They pour the Tabasco on it. That's what it looked like in the bottle. I was like, Tabasco's bad, date's bad.
I remember the first time I saw Indy in space, and I went, "What the hell is this?" Like, when I watched Star Wars, Indy's just hanging out with this giant Bigfoot.
What the hell?
Archaeology has really gotten him places.
What happened in this time? All right, we're back. We're back from the snack break, and we're gonna bring it home because we're reaching the hour mark. So this is the question: the one book, one podcast, and one musical artist or album or something that maybe which at this point we've been pretty loose. Normally it's like that someone may not have heard, but whatever what are you digging right now? So you can figure out. Okay,
Yeah, she's still got a date, and she's still eating. So I'll take this one.
Sorry.
My one book. Like a book I've reread several times, like I think just a very important book for me is called The Wisdom of Insecurity, a message for an antidote for the age of anxiety. And it's an Alan Watts book, and it's just really helpful. Because if you don't know who Alan Watts was, he was one of the pioneers of bringing Eastern ideas to the Western world and Westernizing them and all this and that. It's essentially a self-helpy type of thing, but incredible book, incredible speaker.
Sorry.
That date going down the right way?
I was trying to be quiet.
She almost died, ladies and gentlemen.
That's book, podcast. Say How Did This Get Made, which is hosted by Paul Scheer, Jason Mantzoukas, and June Diane Raphael, and they just watch bad movies and
It's so
and
funny.
talk about them together, and they're fantastic. You don't even have to watch the movies if you don't want, but as somebody that loves movies, good and bad, it's great. You don't have to see them. They're also just 3 very funny, good people. That and Comedy Bang Bang are my 2 favorite podcasts, really.
Shoot, I was gonna say that one because I don't listen to podcasts.
You can say Cocaine and Rhinestones. Just cut me out saying that.
I got you.
And then
Album?
album or artist or something. Yeah, that is the trickiest one. I'll name 3 artists that you just need to listen to, and it's Clayton Smith and His Enemies. He put out an album last year, the year before at this point. Time makes no sense. That's called Stranger. That he completely... Everything about it is 100% Clayton. Well, at least 99.5% Clayton, and it's amazing. It'll make you cry. He's a dear friend and one of the best songwriters I've known.
It is
I love him
good.
so much. He recorded and mastered my album I put out and stuff. Like, he's just fantastic. And then Joe's Truck Stop is the greatest band ever, really. And Yonderings, the album they put out a couple years ago now too, is top to bottom fantastic, just like everything else he's done. And then working our way up in, I guess, size of or notoriety, and then it's fucking Willie Carlisle, the
Incredible.
holding it down for contemporary folk music. One of the best people out there. Just genuine, fantastic human that makes fantastic music. All of his albums are great. Just like all 3 artists I named, everything that they've put out is fucking top tier. And they're all also beautiful people who I love to hug and see. So just, yep, I can't name one when it comes to music. All of those.
Wow, that's
Appreciate
perfect.
that.
That's great.
Yep.
All right, Rachel, you're up.
Let's see. My top book that I would recommend for people to read is by T.J. Klune, and it's called The House in the Cerulean Sea. And it's just like a weird little fictional queer love story but like such a tame love story, and like the focus is really on helping these kids that are discarded basically because they're special. It's a weird mix of like Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like and a love story. It's neat.
Ooh.
It's so good.
Okay.
Yeah. Podcast, I listen to whatever Griff listens to. I don't know. Like I said, in one ear and out the other. I can't do audiobooks either.
It's really good to say how much you don't listen to podcasts while being on a podcast. That's one of my favorite parts.
I'm gonna listen to this.
And be like, oh, God, that's what I sound like.
And well, what's funny is I knew that. I was like, it'll take me a long time to listen to it. I've listened to y'all's with other people, and I'll listen to it again. I probably will skip my episode for a long time.
I'll be the first one to listen to
Still
ours.
listen, and I'll go, I don't want to hear that jackass talk.
I mean, I like your voice a lot. It was one of the big reasons I fell in love with you.
Oh, my goodness.
A big voice and big heart.
Hey, baby.
I'm just making dick jokes over here, sorry. And then my favorite, an album to listen to, Inside by Bo Burnham. If you've never listened to it, it's so poignant and so special, and it makes me want to create.
I watched it, yeah.
Yeah, it was a show released on Netflix, or a movie that he created himself during the pandemic, and it was such an insight into like how alone people felt during it, and like the hope that there was in coming out of it, and
Also,
it's incredible.
even just as a performer, it's good. Like, he speaks to things as a performer and as a working artist and stuff like that too. So that's where it's also relatable to you and me, or
So
you know.
good.
But you don't have to be a musician or an artist to get it.
It's been a hot
but-
minute since I've listened to anything of his, but yeah.
And I remember
Oh,
seeing
man.
clips of it a lot, and then
So-
haven't watched the whole
Highly
thing.
suggest.
I've watched Bo Burnham since I was like 12 years old on
Yeah.
on YouTube, and he's always been one of my biggest like inspirations of being like, you are insane and funny
So fucking
and
smart.
talented, and and then like, you know, he'd taken a big break and then released that, and I was like, it was one of those things where I was like, don't get your hopes up, but also Bo would never
Let you
put
down.
something out that wasn't like 100% him, which is what I want to see, because you can the specials leading up to it kind of show, if you know, like, it shows almost like the deterioration of him enjoying what he's doing, because he had one called What, and basically in the beginning it's kind of tried to be hidden, but he's like making a whole thing about how he's like, I don't like doing this anymore because it's not for me, it's not on my terms and on my everything like that, like the detriments of showbiz, you know.
And his very first song Inside is called Content, and it's like, look, I made you some content. Here you go. Yeah.
That's what you wanted.
Dance monkey dance.
Yeah.
But like him and Stephen Lynch and Tenacious D are all some of my favorite musicians
Really?
because I love silly stuff. That's what I want to create. So hearing it come from them is it's like, there's room out there for more. Yeah, for sure. It's neat.
Yep. I want to make people laugh,
Getting a good giggle.
Like, we don't even try that hard, but like we do it somehow.
But you're just hilarious.
There were times, like, I think it's happened more than once, but was it the Choice City song? I'm trying to remember the exact person that assumed that our whole act was scripted.
Oh, it was Zach. I think Zach Crow.
Oh, yeah. Or was somebody at Barleycorn show or whatever? Yeah, because we do a lot of back and forth, but no show is ever the same. We don't fucking know what we're gonna say and do. There was like somebody that was like positive that we had rehearsed this act out and stuff. And I was like, no, we just hang out a lot. Like, and like they all get that too. Like, there's a great part of playing with your person is on great nights you get to share that high. On lower nights you're there together being like, we got this. Like, we're working, like this is
it's okay.
Yeah, but like we're gonna do our best to have as much fun as we can,
That's how we do it. There's certain stories for songs that stay the same because they're real stories.
Same, yeah.
But by and large, like, I usually don't know what the theme of the comedy is going to be that night till talking to people in the audience. If some weird subject comes up, it's like, cool, I'm going to riff on that for
exactly
the whole night.
Humor.
We did a show at JJ's where like the joke was that we had slipped a cursed rock into everybody's pocket, and like, how did we get there? But it was so funny and everyone was dying.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
I like that. That's one of the things I like, where it's like, I grew up loving stand-up, so I'm like, if I can put a little bit in that in there, I don't have to be brave enough to do a set of just stand-up.
Yeah, I love having an instrument to hide behind when my bit doesn't. Even though at the end of the day, all of my comedy is like, it's for me. It's mischief-based, and like, I'm gonna think it's funny, and like, that's what I want. Like, I love when other people get in on the bits and stuff, but damn it, we make ourselves laugh. And like at Beer is Good, where y'all played tonight, for like 3 shows in a row there was a rule where you had to tip if you wanted to go to the bathroom, and we set it up as some sort of joke, and then all the patrons kept like somebody went that they came in late and didn't hear that part of the show, and they went and pee or maybe they pooped. We didn't ask. And when they came back out, we're like, hey, make sure they didn't tip. And they're like, because somebody at the bar was like, hey, they didn't tip. And we went, yeah, we just got to boo them when they come out, but don't say anything.
Yeah.
And then like everybody walks out and everybody's just booing this stranger that you got to tip them. Yeah, and then like people would come up and tip like a 20. I'd be like, you and your buddy can take a shit tonight, but like, you guys are good, like you guys are both clear for the night.
The kicker was when Griff went to the bathroom and then comes out and throws a quarter in the tip jar and then goes back up to stage.
I was peeing and I was like, oh no, I can't be like, I'm above the rule, like, and I'm like digging my pockets and I had a quarter in there. I was like, this will get him. But yeah, the crowd went crazy to drop a quarter in my own tip jar.
And then made a joke that he found it in the urinal.
Yeah,
was like,
exactly. So like, these are jokes that they'll.
When are we ever going to tell it again?
I don't know how they started, and we knew, they don't make sense otherwise.
Right, yeah. There's a lot of stuff that's just like this situation humor.
Yeah,
it's the best. I love.
I hate to bring it back around, but I think that's probably also another reason why people like live music. It's not just music.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's entertainment.
Yeah, it's a human experience.
Yeah,
you do
exactly.
all these
It's interaction.
It's another peer into the human condition for.
And I think when you're just trying to be like a jukebox for a place, the places that only want the songs that they can sing along to and nothing else, and it's like you don't get that kind of special experience because you're just catering to that one thing. And
we don't fit those exact places too well anyway, because we're not that type of people. Come and be like, do you have requests? Can we do do you take requests? And we go like, if we know it,
like, you can try it,
and if you're not a dick and if we know it, it helps if you tip, like, but like, I remember one night I was just over it to one extent or another, or over this person at the bar, and like the whole show had been going well and stuff. This one drunk guy just kept being like, free bird type of guy, and then he was just like, can you play this, can you play that? And I went, hey bud, these questions are all gonna be like, you should direct them to the jukebox. That's because they had one of like the AMI or whatever, and I was like, we're gonna be done in 45. That one has all the songs that you want to hear, like, I'm not that, like.
Thank you so much.
I literally had one of the Electro Harmonics like organ pedals just so that when people asked for Freebird, I'd click it and do like the acoustic full. I was like, you asked for it, you're fucking getting
Hell
it.
yeah. We're just going to, here's 2 Freebirds right here, you know?
I just started
my
playing it
favorite.
to be a dick, and it was just like, you're not getting the solo, dude, but I will do the slowest,
This part, yeah.
Sad bastardist
saddest version of Freebird you
Incredible.
ever heard with this pedal that will add organ from what they're playing on guitar, and it's like, and you're gonna sit here for it.
And you're
All
gonna
of it.
like it.
It's gonna be 15 minutes long, and there's no solo. That's how long we're gonna stretch this out.
Oh, incredible.
Then maybe those people in the audience will learn a lesson and they won't scream Freebird at the next show. Or if that asshole does scream Freebird, somebody's gonna walk up behind him and just smack him behind the head.
Right.
Shut
It's kind of luckily fallen off for the most part.
Yeah.
Where that's a positive thing that's gone away. My friend Nathan Taylor used to be good. He used to do if you write the lyrics on a $100 bill, I'll sing it.
Yeah, that's what I tell people, like, put your request on 100 and then I'll get to it at some point. I'll see.
Yep.
We had a guy say, I'll give you $1,000 if I can sing a song during one of our sets, and we went, fuck yeah, do it. Go get it. And then he went, wait, 500, and we said, deal. Like,
Done.
goes downstairs,
Goes to the ATM.
goes to the ATM, comes back up with $500.
Oh, you're kidding me.
He did not want to sing a song. He wanted us to we gave him a mic, and he was like, no, do you just maybe play one I know and I can kind of sing along?
Sure. So I started playing Jolene, and he's like, Jolene.
And just kind of muttering into it till I eventually just turned off his mic like all the way because he was just
Drunk as shit.
drunk. They were in town on some like oil convention, so they were also just like, look how much money we have. And I went, show us.
Well, at least that's good. It wasn't like someone's gonna wake up the next morning going like, "Oh no."
I wouldn't. If it was just some like drunk, like poor person like me, then I wouldn't have been like, "Hey,
never.
we're gonna go ahead and get you an Uber." Like, but it was like this guy was. They were flexing. They were flexing all night about their monies. So I went, "Hell yeah!"
Yeah.
It's so fun.
This will pay me some.
And hey, he's the one that brought it up. He said,
Right.
I'll
I'll
give
do
you.
it. Okay.
He was an auctioneer, and then we let him just do some auctioneer stuff for a second.
Oh, wow.
It was so funny. One of the strangest nights.
It was a weird night.
of our lives.
JJ's motherfucking alley.
Love it. Now you guys have experienced it. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was a
love dive
conversation
bars.
going in there. Was Stu was asking to come up and play between my sets. I was like, fuck that guy. I was like, yeah, exactly, man. Like $500, yeah, but you know, it's like,
exactly. When he didn't even want to play, he didn't play guitar. He just wanted a mic to maybe sing.
oh, but then they're all the next day, dude, you got up and sang with the band. It was
Yeah.
crazy, dude. Todd got up there and he sang with the band.
They had a great
Always a
night.
dog.
They had a great night. I don't know.
$100 story right there.
Yeah, and honestly, that greatly improved our life and our night. Like, so,
I think that money went to-
$500 is a lot of fucking money. Like, it's not, but it is. Like,
I think it went to our honeymoon, so yeah.
yeah, shit.
You
Yeah,
gave
that
me a
was
gift. I
pre-honeymoon.
gave you a gift.
Yeah. Everyone's happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
How
a
live
good-
music works, ladies and gentlemen.
Truly.
But yeah, that's a good time. Shout out, man. JJ's Alley. That was a trip. That was a cool spot.
JJ's
cool.
Alley Rocks.
You know, they were really cool. We stopped by there the other night.
The
Eric
owner's
and Eric.
Good dude.
Yeah. Double Eric action.
Yep.
And I feel like that, was it Amy was her name? She lied to me. She said she never forgets a pretty face. And I took my hat off and I went down and she carded me. I was like, am I not as pretty as you said I was?
Excuse me.
She was just like, oh, well, you know, you were wearing a hat earlier. And I was like, I know. But it was just fun.
I fooled
Tested.
you. Man, I didn't recognize one of our friends because he wasn't wearing a hat one day. I was like, you literally have worn a hat every time I've ever
He's
seen
always
you.
in a hat, so
Yeah.
yeah. That was
And
funny.
I was embarrassed.
I watched it. I watched
happens.
you. I was already talking to him. I watched her come up and like watched the not recognition and me just trying to go. This is you know him.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Name redacted because I don't want to be embarrassed again.
we had that happen
I
at,
just don't even.
I remember Dan Electro's one day I wasn't wearing a baseball cap and the guy, like two of the people that worked there were just like, I'd just be like, hey,
didn't
what's
know
up?
you,
And they kind of
yeah.
gave me like that weird, like, who the fuck? Like, why is this weird guy saying hi?
Talking
And
to
then he
us like he
came and
knows
walked
us.
back by and he was just like, dude, I've never seen you without a hat. It finally clicked on who it was. I guess I was like, yeah. And I realized that it's like the hats. so much
funny.
a part of it.
I cut all my hair, got glasses, and there's still no, like, I'm still 6'5" and have, like, visible tattoos. So it's like, there's no anonymity over. I was like, yeah, used to have a bunch of hair and no glasses, and then I cut my hair 6 years ago or whatever. But I just remember going, everybody still recognizes me when I walk in because I'm 6'5", I guess.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I'm part of the fat, bearded, tall guy thing. There's like this monolith of just like
There's so many in every
there's
town.
one being that just keeps shedding new things, and we're everywhere. It's like I don't know, we're like fleas or something. Where it's like every town. Are you? I know you. It's like no, different guy.
Not from here.
Sorry.
That's your that's the local fat bearded guy. Like I'm on loan from Houston right now.
You traded us
I'm
out.
from the Houston chapter.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, real quick. Is there anything y'all'd like to add before we say goodbye?
Yeah, y'all
Anything
getting
we're
out on the
missing?
road this summer? You got like plans?
yeah.
You want people to come see you somewhere?
We're headed to Phoenix in April
nice.
for our friend's wedding. Super stoked about it.
Played a couple shows along the way. Well, I have a good one to shout out. Is we'll be at Summer Stomp, Choice City Stomp in Fort Collins. I think it's likely going to be in LaPorte at Swing Station again, but
Nice.
Choice City Stomp, run by amazing people, always has amazing music. It's in Fort Collins, and they do one in the spring and one in the summer. We're lucky enough to have played the last couple spring ones, and we're like, we'll do summer, if they'll have us, if they'll let us, we'll do the summer this year. So we'll be back up that way.
Awesome.
And then we're going to be up in Wisconsin and Minnesota and stuff in July. But those have more TBD on them.
Yeah.
So just
Still
find us
working on
online. Griffin Wade, Rachel Lynch.
Yeah, or Rachel Lynch and the Day Drinkers for the full band.
Yeah.
Oh, and I wanted to say thank you to you guys. Thanks for having us on your podcast.
Oh, thanks for doing it.
Just making the time.
Yeah.
Letting us come in
Because
your
we've
house.
been we're like what? Like it was season 1 we initially hassled y'all about this.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we made it work. Well, and then y'all
Y'all
came
been a little
over a couple
busy.
days ago and I basically said no. I'd rather just
Listen.
talk. It was one of those times I'd rather just talk to my friends.
it was
and-
fun.
Yeah, exactly. We had a great conversation. Hopefully, it wasn't better than this one, but but yeah.
Sorry if
Like,
it
I'm glad
was.
that we finally got to make it work and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we appreciate
awesome.
y'all. It'd been too long.
And twice
And
in a couple
finally,
days.
didn't bring the stoles with you. Those ragamuffins always.
Give them big hugs
They were just
for
like
us.
whatever. They got all their big time shows this summer. We're like whatever.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take over some stuff for them
They're
while they're out
like
of town.
whatever. They're all fancy now.
Well, they both have jobs and they know what's going on. Like, I haven't worked in a year, and I'm going to do some temp stuff. So it's hard to plan to go out of town when you don't know where you're working at all. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Which I guess all we do is plan on going out of town and also not know we're working at the same time. But
Well, and that's kind of my thing that I've really been thinking about is I just want to tell Sam, like, just fucking plan it and then I'll work around it. Let's do that.
just make it
Well,
work.
that's what we're gonna do when we get home. We're gonna get that July thing ran out.
Heck yeah, and that's why you got the 4 months, and you're like, well, here's the goal.
This
Yep.
this
Make
week
it-
helped shake it off, man. Like
Yeah.
it was good to go out and see friends and hang out with people. Like last night got me fired up.
Heck yeah. That's what I mean.
Feels
Kirby's
good to
does.
travel.
Wichita and Kirby's is so good for that too. Yeah, and it is sometimes it's good to just get out, play a couple shows, or even just go hit the. I love just hitting the road in general. So it's just like that always helps. All right, refresh. Get back to the grind and stuff. Like we're pretty chill this week gig wise. Like I played tonight. But then next weekend we're excited just to take out next week we're to take out the van just to take the dogs camping, or like just to get some van and celebrate the anniversary.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
Yeah, what an anniversary podcast. That's all we should have talked about.
Yeah, that's what it was.
We
For-
should
it's
have just talked about love
double
the whole
anniversary all the way.
That's actually why we wanted to wait till today. We said Sunday wasn't good. We want to do this on the Barker's anniversary. Yeah, Yep.
And
Only special that day.
Yep.
all right. Well, before we go, like let's say, like unfortunately, Health's really busy. He totally wanted to be here, but
Yeah, I
of
just
course
didn't-
he's busy doing Health things. So
Yeah, you tell him we said boo.
It's okay.
we will.
We'll deal. You know, I'll give
Just
him guff when we
kidding.
see him next.
See him next
Yeah.
time, right?
So,
Give
all
him
right,
a big
Kim.
hug for us too.
we will. And
Bye, y'all.
all right, y'all, that does it for this episode of Music in the Minor League, man. We hope you enjoyed it. Remember, share it everywhere you can. That helps us out. It helps Rachel and Griffin out. Helps everyone we've talked to on the entire show out, because you can tell when we have an episode that hit, it trickles down and people check out other episodes and find new music to love, man. Nothing you can do better than finding music to love. But with that, we're all done. Follow Rachel and Griffin. Find them online. Check them out. They got music on Bandcamp. They got music on all the streaming services. Be sure to check them out. Great stuff. And we're going to leave you with Playing with Fire, which is the lead song off of Griffin's EP called Whirlwind. Hope you dig it, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Later.
They say that I'm playing with fire. I guess I'm used to getting burned. I know that one day I'll grow tired. There's still more lessons to be learned. There must be something in the water, or maybe it is in the air. We're being used as cannon fodder, but I guess it seems that we don't care. I wanna tell you what I'm thinking, I wanna tell you something true, but it seems strange each time I'm blinking. I'll put it in a song or two. They say that I'm playing with fire, I guess I'm used to getting burned. I know that one day I'll grow tired. There's still more lessons to be learned. I got some dreams that might sound crazy, but I'll accomplish more than you believe. Can't let myself become too lazy. There's plenty more that needs to be. I know that sometimes I go too far. Can't have my cake and eat it too. But please don't tell me what the rules are. They'll all be broken by the time I'm through. They say I'm playing with fire, I guess I'm used to getting burned. I know that one day I'll grow tired. There's still more lessons to be learned. They say I'm playing with fire, I guess I'm used to getting burned. I know that one day I'll grow tired. There's still more lessons to be learned. There's still more lessons